Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and I'm back again with another comic book review. Now, today is New Comic Book Day, and we got a triple feature once again coming out of the Dawn of X titles. And we got all issue 3s today, and we got the order that it said in the back of the issues that it would go in, which I don't know if there's really a specific need to read them in that order. I don't think it really matters, honestly, but I like to just read it that way anyways, just in case if there's something that kind of connects linear. I don't know why the hell it was just so hard to say that. But we got pretty cool cover, Emma Frost and Cyclops riding some dinosaurs. This issue mainly takes place like a little bit back and forth from like Krakoa and the Savage Lands, but the main thing is that they aren't able to access the Savage Lands. Like, all the gates are working fine, I believe, but they're having a hard time accessing the Savage Lands gate because it looks like somebody might have hacked into it, and the people you find out that hack into it, man, like, I don't know, maybe these are some older X-Men characters or something, like X-Men villains, but, also, before I get into that, though, the artwork, it's that same artist, Yu, on, hold on, what, Lenell Francis Yu is the artist. The inkers are Gerry Angulian and Lenell Francis Yu. There's some panels that are kind of cool, but I think Emma Frost, like, the faces just don't look that good to me. Like Emma Frost just doesn't look as pretty. She kind of has a butter face to me. Cyclops, I think, was drawn the best in this. He looks pretty cool, and he gives a badass performance in this. But we get these, like them kind of going around in their little council. And, of course, something's going on with Krakoa, and it's, the Savage Gateland, like I said, is non-responsive. The suspected forced seizure of a Krakoan gate has caused Krakoa itself incredible discomfort. This has resulted in several unexpected abnormal island disturbances. Krakoan wildlife has gotten more aggressive after a period of over a month with no reported incidents. The island's wildlife, there have been 6 in the last hour. So a lot more aggressive wild Krakoan wildlife. Kind of like when you saw in, I believe it was issue 2, when X-Men or Wolverine was kind of hunting some of that, like that wildebeest or whatever it was. I forget exactly what it was called. Undetectable to most mutants. Black Tom Cassidy has noted a decrease in island mass. Beast has confirmed this and noted a decrease of 0.0001% of roughly 158 square feet. Finally, all telepaths within the localized manifestation of the island are currently experiencing an increased level of psychic assault and consumption. They also talk about kind of feeding the island, and how the Krakoa, I think they kind of feed off of the psychic energy of mutants. Not a lot, but if they aren't given that, I believe that there's something. I have to, let's see. An action team has been tasked with discovering what has happened to the gate and, if possible, reestablishing its connection to Krakoa. So that's basically this whole issue. Them, trying to figure out what's going on and reestablish the connection. But we get this. Sometimes, these white pages these white pages, I don't know if it's the all white page, but they get my eyes kind of drowsy. I mean, there's quite a few, and they're in all of these Dawn of X titles. Sometimes, the information like this page, I think it was a great, this is worth it. This page, it has a lot of good info, but some of them, are just kind of pointless, But feed the island. As most know, Krakoa feeds on psychic energy of mutants, which I didn't know that. Maybe they said it before and I just forgot, When the island is at maximum growth, not the contracted pre-nation state winter version, Krakoa needs to consume 2 mutants a year to maintain a stable environment. However, the current population of Krakoa means that only a minimal amount of psychic energy is needed from each citizen to maintain the health of the island. So see, because of all the mutants now there, they don't need to like just consume 2 mutants a year, which would be kind of messed up because then that would be like Cult of X, basically freaking sacrificing 2 mutants a year. But man, that would be crazy. Krakoa, the current population of Krakoa is psychic. That only the minimal amount of psychic energy is needed from the citizen to maintain the health of the island, something each mutant is happy to give. So they're happy to give it. I mean, it gives them this, safe haven or whatever. Well, we thought it was at least, but it gives them their island and it gives them their country or whatever, There are aggressive protocols in place to ensure that Krakoa is not exceeding its minimal psychic draw. 2 mutants who share similar limitations as the island, mutants who feed on mutants, Selene and Emplate, have been tasked to observe the levels of psychic depletion among the island's mutant population. Similar protocols are used for 2 of them as well. So, like I said, we get right into these so-called, I guess they're botanists, but these botanists are old as shit. And I don't know if they say, but I know they're like kind of geared up in these suits and stuff. Kind of like this one has this kind of like the bird mask, and it looks almost like one of those old school like doctor masks that you'd see in like the old days. Like I'm sure I can't think of the name off top, but it's like that. It's got that huge beak and everything. And these women are botanists, and they've come to the Savage Lands to collect a bunch of these flowers, so they can do experiments and have gateways and stuff. We get a little back and forth between them, and it just killed me that yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second, I guess. These old botanists though, they like I said, they're taking the flowers for some type of experimentation so that they can kind of reset the world in the way that they think is fit. Almost like maybe just kind of like, almost in a way it kind of reminds me how Poison Ivy in the DC world will kind of always be trying to bring the plant life back in like that original form, like that Earth. If that makes sense, I don't know. Like how she always would try to take over the world with the plants and everything, but she would say like this is its natural form and stuff, and that's what they kind of think, but it's definitely different, and they're having trouble, so they need to get shit. It's gonna kill me. What's his name? Ooh, darn it. But they're gonna need another ride. Oh man, what is his name? This goofy guy, and he's able to kind of transport them to gate when they're having trouble. Ooh, that's gonna kill me. But they end up finally getting to the Savage Land, and we get the Black King, we get the White Queen, and we get Cyclops. And first off, they say like they're the horticulture, and the Black King, Sebastian's like the whore culture, and they're like, no, the horticulture. No one here wants to hear about all the whoring around in Kansas Augusta did. You get Sebastian Shaw ends up kind of wanting to talk to these people, but it's kind of funny before they give one of these women, she's like, I like this old lady, she's like, I like married men and taking all their things. It's not my fault that sometimes they die in car crashes. And they're like, they're talking about Emma here, and they're like, she dresses like an S word with a serious P word problem. That's one thing, these old ladies, they don't cuss, they just keep saying like the P word, the S word. You need to wash yourself, girly. And Emma just totally gets offended by that. And she's like, I won't fight old women, and their minds are shielded somehow. So she looks at Cyclops and she's like, so dear, if you could hit these ladies harder than you normally would, it would only make me love you more. Sebastian goes, actually, if you don't mind, allow me, good women of horticulture, I am Sebastian Shaw. And he tries to give this whole speech. I am the Black King of Hellfire Trading Company, who happens to be the rights holders of the product you so clearly plan on absconding with. He basically almost says, you know, I'll let you guys walk away, but with what you want or whatever, but you guys gotta bounce. He even said, like, and between us girls over the years, I too have known to puroing precious items like those flowers you hold in your hand, and even flowers such as yourselves, for your own quite selfish and otherwise loin-related reasons, for we are all self-serving. What is it? Yes, but there's this complication of trust, of can we trust one another, especially when the formation of our blooming relationship has begun thusly. And they end up, like, just smacking him, shooting him in the face, and start kicking the shit out of him. And they're like, no deal. We ain't making a deal. Like, you hear that? No deal, creep. Hit him, like, and they hit him with gas, and Cyclops just starts blasting these folks. Man, and that's honestly the coolest part in this. Cyclops just kicking ass and taking names real quick, and he gets tricked, which was so crappy, but a total Cyclops. And the one old lady's like, "Oh my God, my hip, you broke my hip," and he's like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" Like, he almost starts feeling bad, and then he's like, he's like, "Damn it," and he's like, "Okay, hold still." And as soon as he goes to help her, she socks his ass. And then she kind of gives her plan on, like I said, of them taking over the world and bringing it back to mankind has a problem. Man has a problem with they have a problem with what mankind has done to this planet, and they want to bring it back to its proper state. And they've been working like 200 years supposedly for the world's best agrochemical and biotech companies. They sold us on feeding the world, but what they were really doing was using our gifts to create seedless slave plants that could no longer reproduce. So they were working for these like companies, and all these companies were doing were basically just literally just doing what companies do and worrying about their profits. They replace God's perfect cycle of death and rebirth with just death, so they can sell more product each year in the name of wealth and consumption. And we find out that these old ladies that are whooping Gateway, that's what his name is, the goofy guy, Gateway. And we find out that these old ladies, man, are like 80 years old, like 79, 78 for one, like two of them. One of them's like 82, and these guys are whooping their ass. Yeah, okay, 164, the other 68, another 71, and then another is 81, and they whooped on the X-Men. What? I mean, I guess maybe they had some like weapons that helped, but man, I just did not really like that at all. But it was a decent issue, you know. I've been enjoying. I feel like the X-Men story, like the first two issues, I actually enjoyed those. I mean, they were just kind of like regular missions in a way, like side missions. But I mean, that's what I like. That's what the X-Men animation show always felt like. It was just a mission each episode. But now it feels like this issue definitely is getting into a deeper story. And next we got, oh my God, my definitely, it was so close to being the pick of the week. I didn't plan on talking that long about X-Men issue 3, but Marauders issue 3. Oh my God, this was good. It had some parts I was kind of confused. I guess some parts take place before is what I'm guessing, because I don't think Charles Xavier he's not back yet. I'm pretty sure it takes place before. But man, this art, Gerry Duggan, Michelle Bandini, and Elizabetta D'Amico. Wow, oh wow, did they just do a really bang up job on this book. Like a lot of it's just kind of talking. Here, let's start off with Sebastian Shaw. You know, this is showing us Hellfire Bay, the Red Keep, Blackstone, the White Palace, and man, this is just beautiful art, just so beautiful and clean and bright. Oh man, I just really enjoyed this. I really love this book. It is no doubt my favorite Donna X title. It's like, I think maybe like issue 2 of New Mutants was so good that I'd say maybe Marauders and New Mutants might be my 2 favorite. But you know, he's like, this is Hellfire Bay and I am her Black King. And then what is it here? Several weeks ago, I strode out of Blackstone to right the most grievous wrong. On that day, I restored the Shaw bloodline. You're just in time, Sebastian. And this is the Bishop in Black. And we get the Reclamation. In this issue, we get Sebastian Shaw, Egg, who I don't know, Professor X, Pyro, and Shinobi Shaw, which I can't remember. I think they said Trinity was saying that Shinobi Shaw died in the Uncanny X-Men run. I think he meant the most recent Rosenberg run. I have that whole run, but I fell off like the last. I think I fell off on like issue 16 and it went to like 24. So I have to go back and reread those. I actually really enjoyed it. But then like kind of when you heard Dawn of X and House of X, a lot of people kind of were like, oh, it just doesn't mean anything. But I hear it's such a good like run. Matthew Rosenberg, I heard really killed it. I read majority of it. I read like all of those beginning weekly issues and everything. But so we go to Krakoa and we get Professor X welcoming, Sebastian, and he's like, welcome aboard Arbor Magna. If your request for this expedition will help you in your good work, then it is worth the 5 juggling our schedule. See, because they need the 5 to bring him back. Bring his son, Shinobi Shaw, back. Are we sure this process is a complete resurrection? Ask Pyro. He's like, hey, man, and he's all drooling and shit. And then that's another thing, that like, this book definitely takes place before everything, before issue 2 at least, because Pyro doesn't have his face tattoo yet, and he's just been resurrected, it looks like. He's still going through his side effects. And I'm like, oh, he's fine. He's got into Logan's stash, and we found him here sleeping it off. And my son won't remember what happened? No, man, not your son or Pyro. But I don't think that's right, because I think he does remember. And he's like, Professor's like, prepare to meet your son again, and we get the rebirth of Shinobi Shaw. And he's like, I like his style, man. He's rocking these dope-ass red suits. He's cool. And it's kind of funny. Sebastian Shaw gets a dry mouth just from how nervous he is to see his son again. And he's like, how did I get here? And we get this crazy scene where only like this power, I was like, so I think Kitty Pryde killed him, because it just, the power looks like, the way she like can morph or whatever into objects. And he's like, how did I get here? The first thing he asks, and his father goes like, we'll discuss that later. And he's like, okay. And they start showing, and what is it? There's much new. This ring of plants is a door. Follow me. So now Sebastian Shaw, he's like, come take a walk with me. And man, Sebastian Shaw takes like 3-4 walks in this story with Shinobi. But man, I really enjoyed it. Like, they're just having a conversation back and forth like father and son. And I really liked it. I mean, maybe some people might think this is the weakest issue out of the 3 Marauders. I don't. I mean, it was different. Maybe because the back and forth just between them, it really focused on Sebastian and Shinobi. But I really, really thought, like, the dialogue was absolutely fantastic. And welcome to Blackstone. He's like, is this place alive? And he starts to tell him about, the paradise, and everything that he does, like all the drugs and all the shipment and what the Marauders do, just basically what, Professor X and what the mutants are trying to accomplish running Krakoa. And, he even says, I don't spend as much time on Krakoa as I would like, because there's a lot of business to attend to. Like, I'm working while all these other mutants are getting to, kind of enjoy themselves. And I can't have that luxury. I'm the Black King, and I have to take care of shit. And I love, they go right through a gate, and they're like, I am the Black King, this is my declaration. And because they were like, do you have anything to declare? And it's funny, we see like these make way human to these guys, and they're like kind of maybe riders or something, people that aren't down for what the mutants are doing. And he's like, make way human. And he's like, last chance. Very well. Power me up, Shinobi. With pleasure, father. Boom! Like, man, they're a cool ass team up too, real cool. And you know, we'll get to. We basically figure out that Kate, you know, in the issue before when Kate was given the reins to Red Queen, it looks like it wasn't like one of the girls that Sebastian was sleeping with that he wanted to have be the Red King or Queen. He wanted his son, maybe, I think, to be the Red King. Maybe, but he knew it wasn't working out because he said, I'm going to have you be my, because I don't think he knew it didn't work out. So he's like, I'm going to have you be like my Black Bishop, but save your red suits just in case. And there's a big reason why, I think. And you find out, like, he asked, what do you remember about your death? And we get like text messages between Kate and Bishop where she's like, you need to join, and I want you to be my Red Bishop. And he's like, I hate Red, Kate, like I told you no. And he's like, she just keeps bugging, like, you would look so great in red, like, would you stop? And no, I won't, Kitty. Fine, Bishy. I love that. Fine, Bishy. Sorry, old habits. You were born to be a real bishop. Why don't you want to be in the Hellfire Club? Be the Red Bishop, and I can promise you'll get to observe all the mutants you'd be keeping an eye on anyways, but you'll get to be in the room. You're gonna look great in red. And you know, his father goes and asks, he's like, do you remember, you know, take another walk with me? And the feeling was mutual, if I recall. Recently I saw Xavier shake hands with Apocalypse, so if those two can work together, me and my son, we should be able to work our differences out and come together as one. And he even says the human world is being carved up into yes and no's, blue and red, black and white, and the Shaws can help mutantdom make all that seem small. And he's like, I'll admit, I'm impressed, Shinobi says. And we get, you know, where is it? Like I said, he wants him to become his Red Bishop. This is the Black Bishop ship, a military frigate. Krakoa needs her. She needs a captain, and I need an ally. I need you to be the Black Bishop with more acolytes to come. Like, man, this art is just so clean. It's time to cash out from the human race, Shinobi. The aging top 1% of their population owns 90% of wealth. In 5 years, the opportunity will be lost. The drugs only prolong their lives for that long. So that's a big thing right there. That these drugs, might be kind of phony. They only last for they only work for 5 years. So in 5 years, what's gonna happen? The government, dude, there might be all-out war. Like, when they find out, like, that they kind of were lying. I mean, it prolongs your life for 5 extra years, but I think that I'm sure the humans think that it's going to prolong their life a lot longer than that, so who knows? I highly doubt they know it lasts only 5 years. And then, because he even says, he's like, by then, we'll have bled them dry. And I need one thing in advance. You know how I died, don't you, Dad? And he's like, I do. It hurts to say, but like I said, and I knew it, the white and red queens conspired to murder you. And, dude, just look at this last panel. It's so beautiful. I cannot wait to see what happens next. It's gonna get a little tricky, man. There's gonna be a lot of intensity, or a lot of hostility between those three. I mean, the Black King, the Red Queen. The Black King is basically might wage war against the White and Red Queen, or he's gonna somehow try to have them assassinated. I just cannot wait, man. Maybe least, honestly, this might be the weakest issue. You know, sometimes these books, you gotta read them twice, man, to really understand what's going on. The artwork is so much better in this than in, like, the X-Men book. But I just think I like what's going on. I understand that X-Men book just a little bit more. Like the Excalibur, I just don't know as much about these characters is the thing. Apocalypse is the one I probably know the most about. And then maybe like Rogue and Gambit. And I don't even know much about them. So we get Captain Britain in this, Apocalypse, Jubilee. And Jubilee, man, she's just like annoying as hell in this, kind of. I know there's a lot of Jubilee fans, but she was just kind of really like, please, my baby, my baby. And it's like, okay, he's a damn dragon, girl, like, he can take care of himself. But I understand. I mean, if she's a mother, that's how any mother would be. So I don't know. It was just a lit, like, she just kept going and going, so. And we get a crazy, like, I don't know if it's a first appearance technically, but Brian Braddock is like this, like, crazy, almost looking like Winter Soldier knight, in my opinion. That's the only thing that I could describe. And we get this new character, I believe it's a new character, named Richter. And, Marianne Stern, I don't know if she's new. And, basically this guy, Richter, he's a mutant, and he, it starts off, you know, look, he can't even, like, stand on the floor or whatever, and without like causing an earthquake. And he ends up finding, like, Krakoa has some the mutants have a website, mutantsunmuted.com/q/Krakoa. So they have their own website where mutants can kind of reach out, and he reaches out, and he's like, hey, throwaway account here, don't know where else to ask. Has anyone had problems with controlling their powers that got better when they went to the island? Or is it the opposite? Or is the opposite more likely? If I'm having trouble maintaining control of my mutation, would going to Krakoa help make it worse? Or would it help or make it worse? Thanks. Answer back was, hey, this is pretty vague. Can you clarify what sort of mutation you have? I'm not really sure why this would be a concern. Reply, I'd rather not. Reply to that is, okay, is there someone you could take with you your first time to hold your hand just in case something bad happens? Richter answers, no, thanks anyway, and bounces, logs off, I'm guessing. And he basically, man, he's so scared of hurting anybody or doing any damage. Like the poor guy, man, like, oh man, I feel for him. That's just rough. And he's just like I can't quit hassling me. I just need to go away. And he literally puts himself in a box. He puts him in a box to keep himself away from people, man. It's just so heartbreaking, man. Like the kid, and he's all by himself, so it's like, man, you know, I felt for him. And we get some of this, like, magic background of this in Camelot, and the Coven of Aqaba is this, what is that Marianne Stern is telling Morgan Le Fay that, you know, the Coven of Aqaba is at her command. And this part was a little bit more confusing, and it looks like, you know, they're basically going to be coming at Captain Britain, Jubilee, Gambit, and all of them. They're just basically kind of like waging war against them. And what Captain Britain is trying to do is she's trying to find her brother because she thinks he's still alive. And they end up using the dragon to like, the artwork is beautiful, but it's just this book was this one was the most confusing in my opinion. Just like a lot of kind of just pointless stuff in my opinion, like back and forth that was kind of just goofy, like, don't hurt my baby, like, protect my baby, and it's like, your baby's a dragon, like, but you find out that he can, like, for some reason he can specifically kind of change into anything he wants. And Gambit's still pissed that they left Rogue with Apocalypse. He's still worried. And they end up having Shogo take him to the castle where it looks like Brian Braddock is being held. And he's being, like, chained up. And he's all like, you know, witch breed, hear her. Hear her. Where is she? Bring me my sister. Bring me the pretender. So, dude, she looks pretty badass, though, in this, and he's just, it looks like he's being under some spell, or he's under mind control, but they end up saying that he's completely gone, and they bounce on him, but, or they leave him behind, and, they end up fighting all these warriors, here, let's see, what are they, yeah, they end up fighting, you know, the Coven, I'm guessing, or some of these warriors. Oh, you know what, though? But because Gambit's like, can't you control these guys and make some of them join our team? And she's like, Betsy, I don't want to tell you what to do, but if I had psychic powers, wouldn't it be useful if a few of these guys fought on our side? She's like, I can't read the surface of their thoughts, but I can read their surface thoughts, but I can't control or stop them. They feel like they're not entirely real. It's like trying to grab a handful of water. Damn, Otherworld. That's weird. We're getting overwhelmed, which feels absurd as we have a dragon on our side. I don't want him getting hurt, Jubilee says. Jubilee, he can breathe fire. He's covered in scales. They cannot hurt him. We are gonna die out here. Okay, I trust you. Call him down and we'll get out of here. Like, thank you. And I didn't even say, like, the pages before that, she was complaining even more about it. Maybe not as bad. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but it was a little, to me, at least. But, Shogo, we need you, darling. And she's able to communicate with him. For Morgan Le Fay. So these four fighters, like I said, are, you know, her warriors. And here comes Lode. Siege, or here it comes the dragon. And bam, he's just blowing them back. Hitting them with fire breath as they do. And they're like, we won't let him near him. Go before they hurt him. Because there again, go before they hurt him. He's taking all of them out. But then the thing is, which I don't kind of doubt, because when this dude comes up, he looks pretty scary. And if he got on top of the dragon, who knows what the hell's going to happen. But keep a hold tight, men. He's a beast. Slay. Pretender. And they're like, she's like, oh my God, Brian, my beautiful brother. Man, he looks badass in this. I want to see what happens with him because he looks really cool. And she's like, what have they done to you? And that's not you in there. Please talk to me. For Camelot, he goes, Slay, Pretender, Brian, please. And then, you know, like I said, she goes like, fine, you're right. I'm the Pretender. I'm not the real Captain Britain. That's you. Just come back. It's all yours. Die, Witch Reed, and Megan, and Maggie, and Jamie. Dragon's a hell of a distraction, man. Okay, Shogo, good aim. Aim for the walls, not the people. But, and then they say, come on, we gotta go. No, we cannot leave him. He's my brother. He's Captain Britain. That's you, Bets. That's you now. There's nothing left in him to save, Elizabeth. Take up your mantle. From one reluctant warrior queen to another. Long may we reign. And the way that is said, those last few boxes of text, you know, there's nothing left of him, Elizabeth. That's kind of said almost like as she's hurt, maybe she's hearing it in her head. And I believe it's Morgan Le Fay that's the one. Yeah, Le Fay. She's the one that is communicating that to her. Like, just go on, go on. And I'm sure you would want her to go on because it looks like you're the one that's got him under, like, mind control or whatever the hell. And we end up getting back to the lighthouse, and Apocalypse is there in England or whatever. And, you know, he's like, what is it? Begin recording. Centuries of humans learning to pay for their magic has made this experiment a challenge for me. A whole system of promises made and deeds done. Each of these will empower the gate into Otherworld, and only briefly before sputtering out and becoming useless. A finite resource for finite people with finite power. Fickle stones. Mutant magic will not fade like this. I shall need a focus that is superior, and a master stone itself. And he goes right through the gate, onto Earth. It looks like. Yeah, well, yes, it is Earth. And then we see like people in a park. They're like, "Oh wow, is that? Don't shh, don't stare." And then we get big boy Apocalypse looking like a goddamn boss. And then like get people are like, "Get your stuff, we're leaving. Do you have a phone? Take a picture." Like dumb shit, you know. And then what is it? Then we find out that he goes straight to Richter. He's going to find Richter, and he's like, "Shh, come, Richter, come, young man. I've come to take you home." Krakoa, no, I told everyone I can't go there. I'm staying here. I'll break it in half. I'll go. My powers are complete. I'll break it in half if I go. My powers are completely out of control. I can't even set foot on the ground outside. The ground outside and anywhere else is your command for miles beneath the soil. You are mutant. It is your gift. You are afraid. Fear is not something we contend with anymore. The monster, this depression that sits on your soul, has no quarter in the high places of our new world, our Krakoa. Come, there is nothing that can break that you can break. There is nothing you can break that I cannot fix. Wow, Apocalypse. I don't know if you're just using this, boy, which you might be, but wow, man, that was a great speech. What is this? It is all Krakoa, but this is geography. Wait, whatever. This is Cornell, England. England, I thought we were going to the island. Like I heard there was a party. You're not Captain Britain. Yeah, he's a little paler. Who's looking for him? Somebody thinks Richter's Captain Britain for a half a second, because he kind of looks similar to him. And her, actually. And I'm Pete Wisdom, agent of MI-13, Division Black Air, British Secret Intelligence. The Queen needs her captain. So, I believe that that's the Red Queen that needs her, Kitty Pryde, because I think that's, I can't be certain. It's either that or Emma, but I'm pretty sure it's Kitty Pryde. But I don't know who this MI-13 Division Black Air British Secret Intelligence guy is. I mean, he's got this weird looking fire hand, but man, I don't know. Like, Professor Bill made a good ass point. Like, how did Apocalypse not see this guy? Like, where the hell was he? Where the hell did he come from? But yeah, man, this is a fun issue, and it looks like next week we get 3 more titles again. We get New Mutants 3, Fallen Angels 3, and then X-Force 3. So 3 more titles next week, and man, it looks like, holy crap. And then the week after, for December 18th, we get 5. Oh my god, we get Marauders issue 4, Excalibur issue 4, New Mutants issue 4, X-Force issue 4, and Fallen Angels issue 4. I believe they're missing. Aren't they missing one? Marauders. Yeah, okay, so they're missing X-Men. X-Men 4. So, I wonder if that... Dang, no, 5 titles 2 weeks from now? Holy crap. This was a really long one, guys. I really kind of wanted to make sure I did a good review on these and not just kind of brush through them. But, you know, let me know if there was anything I missed, or, you know, some parts, like I said, were kind of confusing. And I'm so new to a lot of this whole X-Men world. You know, I know a decent amount of characters, but even the big characters that I've always loved since I was a kid, I don't know that much about their, like, comic book history, you know? I know bits and pieces, like, I don't know everything, you know what I'm saying? So, if there's anything you guys want to add down in the comments down below, I'm always interested in catching up on some material and info on, you know, the history of these mutants. But hey, guys, that's it for now. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button on your way out, hitting that subscribe, hit bell notification so you get all updates on all my upcoming videos, usually dropping at least one a day. So, hey guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.